Hey guys, welcome to this video lecture series on the subject of energy technology. I'm Harsh Panchal, Assistant Professor in Chemical Engineering Department of LJIET Institute of Engineering and Technology. Here in this video, we are going to start a new chapter in the segment of non-conventional source of energy, and that is hydrogen and methanol. Well, the most attractive feature of this hydrogen energy as carrier or as a fuel is that this hydrogen can be produced from water. Well, this water is abundantly available in the nature. So we can say that this hydrogen energy is the renewable source of energy, because around 70% of Earth's surface is being covered with water only, that we have seen in the ocean energy part. So the burning process of hydrogen is non-polluting and it can be used in a fuel cell for generation of electricity and useful heat. So we have already seen in the chapter of fuel cell that how we can utilize hydrogen as a potential of fuel and we can produce electricity by means of fuel cell, or we can also generate useful heat energy that we can utilize for many purposes, such as space heating or for the process industries. So the hydrogen can be used as fuel directly, or it might be converted into useful chemical compounds such as methanol, ammonia and different hydrocarbon. But the problem associated with this hydrogen as a fuel are their production, their storage and their transportation. So throughout this chapter we are going to see what are the different properties of this hydrogen, how we can produce this hydrogen, how to handle and how to store this hydrogen, and lastly we will see how to transport this hydrogen as a fuel. So let's get started with the properties of hydrogen. Well, hydrogen is basically a light gas at normal temperature and pressure. Its density is only 0.08988 gram per liter, which is approximately 7% of the air at the same condition. That means the density of hydrogen is so less, it is only 7% of the air. So suppose if air has a density of 100 gram per liter, then this hydrogen would have only 7 gram per liter of density. So we can see that this hydrogen is very light in nature. The hydrogen gas is condensed to liquid at low temperature of minus 253 degrees Celsius at atmospheric pressure with specific gravity around 0.07. The standard heating value of this hydrogen is 12.1 megajoule per meter cube, which is approximately 1/3 of natural gas. The flame speed of hydrogen burning in air is much greater than the natural gas, and energy required to ignite the combustion is less. Low ignition energy means it is possible to have flameless combustion of hydrogen at low temperature on the surface of catalyst. Mixture of hydrogen and air is combustible over a wide range of combustion. So this mixture of air and hydrogen is widely combustible for different temperature of range. Now let's see some of the basic property of hydrogen that we have already understand in the chemistry part. As the atomic number of hydrogen is 1 and its weight is around 1.0079. The melting point of this hydrogen is minus 259 degrees Celsius, while that of the boiling point is around minus 253 degrees Celsius. The maximum boiling point of this hydrogen is around minus 240 degrees Celsius at 14 bar of pressure. The vapor density of this hydrogen is 0.08376 kg per meter cube at 20 degrees Celsius and 1 atmosphere. Specific gravity, as we have already seen, is approximately around 0.0696, while the flash point of this hydrogen is minus 253 degrees Celsius. the valency for this hydrogen gas is 1. So this hydrogen is basically colorless, odorless and combustible gas. So this was all the property of hydrogen gas. Now let's understand about the production of hydrogen. Well, the commercial production of hydrogen nowadays has been done majorly by the steam reforming of different hydrocarbons such as natural gas and naphtha. But this source of hydrogen is less attractive as fossil fuel will run out in near future. So in today's scenario, we are mainly producing hydrogen by means of this steam reforming process, in which what we do is we utilize different hydrocarbons such as natural gas and naphtha to produce hydrogen. But it is not difficult to understand that this hydrocarbon will depleted or run out by next near future. So hydrogen made up of the coal is questionable. Even though this process is inexpensive and convenient to use, still this coal will be depleted or run out by next century. The hydrogen from such source, that is fossil fuel, is justified as a fuel where unique characteristic of hydrogen can be put some sort of advantage. So if you have some specific type of advantage, then you can always utilize this fossil fuel for the generation of hydrogen. Well, there are basically different methods to produce hydrogen, and they can be classified as the electrical energy, that is nothing but the electrolysis process. Then we have heat energy, then we have fossil fuel, and lastly we have solar energy for the production of hydrogen. So now let's understand what is the electrical energy or the electrolysis process for the production of hydrogen. Well, the process of splitting water into hydrogen and oxygen by means of direct current is known as electrolysis. This electrolysis process we have already understand in the chemistry section or in a 10+2 course, or you may have also understand this in diploma courses. So this electrolysis process is nothing but it is a splitting of water molecule into the oxygen and hydrogen by applying the direct current. So in a principle of this electrolysis, we can always write that the electrolysis cell is basically made up of two metallic electrodes which are immersed into the aqueous solution. That solution is known as electrolyte. A source of direct current is connected to the electrode so that current flow through this electrolyte and from this positive electrode to the negative electrode. So what we are going to do now is that we will pass the direct electric current to this electrode, and this current will flow from positive electrode towards the negative electrode. Here in this image you can see that how we are splitting the molecule of water that you can see into the hydrogen and oxygen molecule, as 2H2O gives 2 hydrogen and 2 oxygen. This hydrogen is being shown by the white color. Ultimately, water in the electrolyte solution is decomposed into hydrogen gas and oxygen gas. So when we apply direct current, we can decompose this water molecule into hydrogen and oxygen. So now let's understand what is the working of this typical electrolysis process. When electric current passes through the electrolyte, that is being consist of the water, this water is being decomposed into the hydrogen at negative electrode, that is known as the cathode, and oxygen at positive electrode, which is known as the anode. So here in this animation you can see that one negative electrode, that is known as the cathode, and one is the positive electrode, that is known as the anode. So the all positive oxygen atom or ions will collected on the positive electrode, and all the hydrogen gases will be collected on the negative electrode. So on application of current that is not shown in this animation, this decomposition of water will take place. Well, catalyst as platinum is used to reduce the activation energy required for this reaction, and we can increase the speed of reaction on the electrode. But the cost of platinum is high, so other electrode surface material such as nickel plated steel are generally used for the commercial application. So for the commercial production of hydrogen, what we are doing is we utilize the nickel plated steel as a material for the electrode, and we carry this chemical reaction to produce hydrogen. Well, ideal voltage for the direct current around 1.23 volts is sufficient for the splitting of one molecule of water into the ions of hydrogen and oxygen at normal temperature and pressure. But because of slow reaction over the electrode, high voltage are required for this decomposition. Well, power consumption can be reduced by operating electrolysis cell at high pressure, and hence size of cell can be also reduced for the same output production of hydrogen. So we can reduce the power consumption by this electrolysis cell if we operate this cell at very high pressure. Not only that, we can also reduce the size of this cell, and we can produce compact size of cell to produce same amount of hydrogen for the production. Well, we can always utilize catalyst to enhance the speed of this reaction and ultimately production of hydrogen. So this concludes the electrolysis process for the production of hydrogen. Now let's understand the next method, and that is thermochemical method for the production of hydrogen. Well, the overall efficiency of the production of hydrogen by electrolysis process is about 38%. The higher efficiency might be achieved if the heat produced by primarily fuel could be used directly to decompose the water. So what we are going to do in this method is that we are directly utilizing the heat energy of this fuel to produce hydrogen. Well, with the electrolysis process, we are only achieving 38% of overall efficiency. So we can increase the efficiency of production of hydrogen by means of thermochemical process. This decomposition of water requires temperature of at least 2500 degrees Celsius. Because of this temperature limitation and conversion process equipment, the direct single step water decomposition is not been achieved. However, sequential chemical reaction series can be devised in which hydrogen and oxygen are produced and water is consumed, while all the other chemical reactants are recycled. Such operation is termed as thermochemical cycle. So, in order to achieve or in order to produce hydrogen, what we are going to do is we will have sequential chemical reaction in a series so that we can ultimately produce hydrogen and oxygen, while all other chemical are being act as inert or they can be recycled for the process, and such process is nothing but thermochemical process. So in this series of reaction, water is taken up to one stage and hydrogen and oxygen are produced separately in a different stage. So in a one stage the water is decomposed, and in other stage the hydrogen and oxygen are produced in separate stages. This multi-stage thermochemical method could be used high temperature nuclear energy. So basically this reaction required high temperature, and this high temperature can be utilized or can be supplied by the nuclear reaction or nuclear energy. The practically it is difficult to achieve such high temperature. So presently around 950 degrees Celsius of temperature is possible for the thermochemical cycle. So here are some of the example of such chemical reaction, as 2 CrCl2 plus 2 HCl gives twice CrCl3 plus 2 hydrogens. This is the formation reaction of the hydrogen, while the second reaction is twice CrCl3 gives twice CrCl2 plus 1 atom of chlorine. So now in this third step, that is combining of the water reacts with chloride in order to produce 2 mole of HCl and half mole of oxygen. So here we can see that the water decomposed in a one step and hydrogen and oxygen are being produced in a separate stages. As can be seen in this reaction, only water split and all the other element or all the other chemical compound are completely recovered or recycled. So this was the method of production of hydrogen by thermochemical method. We will see different method of hydrogen in the next lecture. Till then, keep watching, keep learning. Thank you.